From high above Harrington Auditorium on the campus of Worcester Polytechnic Institute in Worcester, Massachusetts, we welcome you to another edition of K-Zone Game of the Week Playoff Edition here on AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZ Stream.com. A very good evening on your ride home. Pleasant travels. I hope you have as you go along the way. We've got playoff basketball for you here from Harrington Auditorium in Worcester tonight. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins. Happy to have you along with us here on the K-Zone as we get you set for Division I Central Mass semifinal basketball action. Girls side of the bracket this time, as the second seed Wachusett Mountaineers will host the 3 seed Natick Red Hawks. The Mountaineers will be the designated home team as the higher seed here at Harrington Auditorium tonight, although on a neutral floor. The Red Hawks will wear the dark-colored road jerseys down on the floor this evening as well. Should be an exciting matchup, a matchup that has been seen, we're told, 4 out of the last 5 years, 3 in a row, as we welcome you high above courtside to our broadcast position here on the K-Zone and with our partners at Rivalry Family Media as well, as we get you set for what is going to be a fun battle once again. Wachusett and Natick, the Mountaineers, they haven't lost a basketball game all year long. They wouldn't know what losing feels like. They didn't lose a regular season game last season either. So not a lot of losses going on for Coach Jim Oxford and his squad. Meanwhile, on the other side, Natick, they've been in these battles with the Mountaineers year in and year out. They find themselves in another one again tonight, 3rd year in a row. Coach Dan Heitkamp, he said to me he really is looking for his program to take that step tonight and avenge that overtime loss last year in this very Division I semifinal. That's the backdrop for this one. Meanwhile, Natick comes in with a 19-2 overall record. No slouch coming in as well. Each of them has an opening round win as the only team in this 8-team Central Mass bracket for Division I girls that got a bye was the top seed Franklin. Everybody else had to play in the opening round. So certainly did make all the difference in the world. Everybody's kind of gotten a bounce going. Natick defeated Shrewsbury in a battle of 3 and 8 by a 52-41 score. Wachusett in the 2-7 game, they beat Westford by a 58-43 score. Welcome in the first member of the broadcast team, Bill Thomas. And Bill, here we go again. It's another year. It's another Wachusett playoff run. Coach Jim Oxford was up here talking to us before the game. He was very complimentary of his players and how well they've achieved in this season. Another year, 21-0 at the district semifinal.
Yeah, and from what we've seen from Wachusett and Coach Powell's last number of years, I'm looking at Wachusett 3 out of the last 8. They've been the state champs in D1, and the tradition carries on. And you're right, he was up here talking to us a little pregame here and joking around and talking about his club, and he said something that made me laugh. He felt that his team was fragile, that their undefeated record was fragile. But I think he might have felt that at the beginning of the season.
His players weren't.
His record, it was a fragile record. Right. He's not worried about the record was fragile. It's like, well, maybe you thought you might have a fragile type season. You only had 2 seniors, but I'm sure by midseason there was no fragility there, and you were just hammering people. And I always like to look for trends. I'm going to just throw the trend out, and I like to look for the plus-minus. Wachusett, a plus-minus of 27 to the good, and that's why they haven't lost the game. They haven't even given up over 50 points, and only 4 times have they given up anything in the 40s, with the 49 tops. A couple 49s, a 48. I've kind of gone through this, and I'm just amazed at the numbers that I'm seeing game after game, the consistency, and with only really 1 double-digit score. And I don't know how they do it, but I'm looking forward to watching the team, because they have to be playing like a team. Because you know as well as I do, usually 1 double-digit score does not get it done. But the supporting cast has been tremendous. And supporting cast will be the name of the game. Coach Jim Oxford said to us before the game, when he knew he was going to have the chance for another special season, it was the 5th game of the year when they were on the road at Holy Name. And at that point, it became a 53-45 victory. And at that point, that game was in early January. He looked at his assistant coaches and said, these players have some serious ability. We've got a chance
for a really special season, and special it has been. Another 21-0 mark they bring into the sectional semifinals. Third member of the broadcast team, Kate Robbins. And Kate, as it turns out throughout the years, we've seen year in and year out, Wachusett finds their way back here. And one of the things Coach Jim Oxford said makes all difference, what they do in the off season. His players play basketball year round.
And I take his point. I can't necessarily say that I agree with it, but I certainly take his point. You have a situation in the Wachusett School District, okay, when you have all of your women's sports programs that are incredibly prolific across the board. You're talking about the youth level. You have youth players that are being developed from the ground up in this school system. Then not only that, they have a wing mentality at Wachusett across the board in all of their women's athletics there. And so one of the things that I also attribute this phenomenal growth in is coaching as well. I think that that Coach Oxford hasn't given himself enough credit. I think, yes, by playing year-round, it certainly is going to allow those young ladies to mature and develop their skills. But I think even more importantly than that is that they surround themselves in their athletics from the youth level up with excellence. The expectation is excellence across all of their women's athletic teams. And I think you have to place a lot of credit on Coach Oxford's shoulders as well, because they don't get here year after year without his tutelage as well. So I disagree with him, but kudos to him.
But and just add to that, Kate, the youth coming up through that program know what the goal is.
Yes.
And that's to be at that excellence at the varsity level when you get to the high school, Wachusett. And that's what they want. And they start early. And
Yes.
we've seen that in other sports. Youth baseball, a great little league usually leads to great Babe Ruth and then great high school teams.
Indeed.
I was involved in a program for years at Northbridge. That was the way they operated. You see it in basketball, Wachusett, and the surrounding communities.
And they certainly have proved it out. Two freshmen in the starting five tonight for Wachusett, Emmy Allen, and also let me take that back, Kate King, the other that we will see in the starting lineup. The two freshmen that will be featured tonight. The key one Coach Oxford said to keep an eye on is his point guard. Freshman point guard, something that he said he was not comfortable with per se going into the start of the year, but Emmy Allen's play has bared that ability out. And so Emmy Allen will be a freshman and a starting point guard in this playoff matchup tonight. And he said when he's in that formation, he's able to take Belle Lanfer, the senior scorer for this Mountaineer program, and move her over to that shooting guard spot, or perhaps play that small forward, that 3 spot, handling the basketball but spending more time scoring the basketball. He said tonight, of course, if Allen struggles, maybe on a bigger stage, he's going to have a quick hook and move her out of the game, put a different post player in, and put Lanfer into the point guard spot. So certainly some places where Coach Oxford, even still at 21-0 in the sectional semifinal, is not sure where his parts will play or how well they'll perform on such a big stage.
But you know what I like about that is that he's realistic about the areas in which they need to make sure that they spend a lot of time.
And to think that Belle Lanfer is not going to be bringing the ball up court and spending the time outside the arc, the owner of 60 three-point baskets, and so that's average of 3 a game. And if she's at 50%, she's probably going to loft up 8 to 10 three-pointers at the least. But she's going to be showing her presence underneath too and getting her points any way she can.
Sorry to bug you. They're going early.
Aren't they always,
so.
as we get set? Playoff action to come, sectional semifinal. Wachusett and Natick will set more of the stage for you. Talk about the interesting, intricate matchups tonight between these two schools as well when we continue on with our coverage here on the K-Zone, AM 1280 and 105.3 FM. K-Zone Game of the Week Playoff Edition brought to you by Bolton Orchards for the season's best harvest and the freshest produce. Daily lunch specials and Nitro Brew coffees. Open 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily at the junctions of Route 110 and 117. Online at boltonorchards.co. So much more to come, including the national anthem and player introductions. When we continue, it's the Game of the Week playoffs here on the K-Zone. Back inside the Harrington Auditorium in Worcester here on the K-Zone. Introductions over. We're ready for sectional semifinal basketball here tonight on your ride home here on the K-Zone. Lots of ways to participate. AM 1280, 105.3 FM, WPKZstream.com. Starting lineups introduced for both teams. First for Natick. Their starting five is going to be Lainey Ross, Elena Ciccarelli, Brenna McDonald, Maddie Foreman, and Jenna Foreman. Meanwhile, for the Mountaineers, those two freshmen, Emmy Allen and Kate King, the freshman, will get the start tonight, along with seniors Kat Davis, Belle Lanfer, and Charlotte Head. Those will be the starting five tonight for the Mountaineers. Mountaineers wearing the home white tops, white bottom, trimmed in evergreen. Evergreen numerals front and back, Wachusett in the scripted letters on the front of the jersey. Mountaineers will go from right to left here in the first half of action. The ball is up, tip one and controlled by the Red Hawks. And it's Natick basketball going left to right. Mountaineers drop into a man-to-man defense.
What phenomenal experience these Wachusett freshman starters are going to get here.
Pass in the paint. Foreman's turnaround shot does not go. Rebound down in the hands of Allen, and up floor they come. It's Davis, half-court left. They feed Belle Lanfer. Lanfer's going to take it back top of the key. Now drills inside. Spins off two Red Hawks. Tried an inside pass that got tipped. Ball ends up back out to Davis. 30 seconds gone by. No score. Mountaineers and Red Hawks here from Harrington Auditorium on the campus of WPI. Ball was tipped. Lanfer got away with a walk. She never put the ball down. And the loose basketball will find its way into the hands of Brenna McDonald.
For two prolific scoring teams and no points on the board yet.
Ross the drive of the lane, shut off the mark, rebound down in the hands of King, and King's running down floor. Nice inside bounce pass looking for Davis, tied up on the play there by McDonald, and on the alternate possession, the basketball stays with the Mountaineers.
You know, pregame, Todd, I talked a little bit about the defense and the plus-minus on the Wachusett Mountaineers side. Natick, I got them for roughly about plus-minus 20, so they play some defense and know how to put the ball in the hoop, too.
1 minute gone by, no score in this basketball game. Lanfer the drive, swatted away. Foreman says, get that out of here. And Ross has got the basketball in transition. She'll take it over the timeline. Ciccarelli drops it in the post for McDonald. McDonald, baseline drive pass. Davis, touch off glass is good. And first blood drawn by the Red Hawks. Minute and 30 into this one, it's 2-0 Natick. Drive on the play there by Allen. Allen gets bumped. First foul of the basketball game gets called against Natick. And the Mountaineers right back on the basketball off the side stack inbound. Red Hawks wearing the road white tops, red tops, red bottoms, trimmed in white. Block numerals front and back. Natick in the block varsity lettering front of the jersey. Another foul called this time on the inside. They're going to put this one against Jenna Foreman. Second foul called against the Red Hawks. Mountaineers still yet to score. Lanfer finds a flashing Allen down the lane. She tries to lay in off the inbound. Too strong. Shot missed. Red Hawk basketball in transition going left to right. You could see some of those early jitters that Coach Oxford was concerned with. The inside bounce. Foreman throws up a scoop hook and lays it off glass and good. And it's 4-0 Natick. 2 minutes gone by.
Pretty play right there, Todd and Kate. Nice underhand scoop off the pivot.
Mountaineers struggling thus far offensively. Lanfer, bounce pass inside. Finds the cutter. It was King. King double dribbled with the basketball. She initially lost the handle, put it back down. Coach Oxford up off the bench, calling out to his players, trying to make some adjustments here and get them to settle down. Barely 2.5 gone by in this one. They're down 4-0.
Well, and this becomes part of the problem is that you're used to being such a prolific scoring offense out there. Now all of a sudden you're already, halfway through the first quarter, no points on the board, and you start to get a little bit tighter and tighter as the time goes on.
Ball bounced back up top, found it in the hands of Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli will swing around in the hands of McDonald. McDonald the drive, the kick back this time for Foreman. Foreman looks inside post, and Lanfer steps in the passing lane. 2-on-1 down the floor. Lanfer down the right side of the lane. Bothered there by Ross. Converts the lay-in. It's 4-2 Natick, and that lead early is cut in half.
I think that's going to just wake the Mountaineers up right there. They needed that first one to break the ice.
Shot of adrenaline out there.
Indeed, seemed like it picked up the pace. Turnaround shot top of the key for McDonald. Hard off glass. Rebound down in the hands of King for the Mountaineers.
And if you're Wachusett, it's one possession at a time. Win every single possession that you're out there. They've won the last 2 possessions. Need to continue that trend.
Allen has the ball poked away on the inside. Then Davis picks up the loose ball on the baseline. Has that poked away out of bounds. Mountaineers will keep the basketball under their own offensive hoop.
You know, you talk about the Mountaineers having trouble scoring early. Only 2 times this season they scored into 50 points. Both times in the 40s. One was a 43-point.
Long 4 count. Allen just barely gets it in, but got open. Nice find inside King. A bounce pass to the open Allen, who converts. We're knotted at 4.
You can see both teams with jitters on this night early on. Nice steal right there for Wachusett. That's King.
King with the hard bounce pass finds Allen cutting to the basket. Hit the underside of the support. It won't go. And the rebound for McDonald. Mountaineers jump right on her, but they weren't able to knock the ball away. Tipped around the midcourt. Mountaineers get it back. Lent for an open 3 straight away, and she hits.
That didn't take long.
Halfway through the first quarter, Mountaineers got their first lead at 7-4.
There's 7 unanswered points. Win for her of 63 pointers over the course of the season.
Because you have such youth out there at 2 of your 5 starting positions, you're in a situation where you really do need to get your feet under you, and right now that's what the Mountaineers are finally starting to do, especially with their freshmen. But having Lampford, who has such experience out there, key for them.
Foreman off the dribble, hits the underside of the basket support, ball down in the hands of Head. Now in transition, up floor, through Allen, finds Lampford. Jumper on the right side of the lane is good.
She's feeling it now. She's got a team-high 7 points.
And a 5-4 lead. 5-point lead, excuse me, at 9-4, thank you. Inside, little contact, fadeaway shot won't go for McDonald. Foul on the rebounding action, and the ball will go back to the Mountaineers. Foreman gets billed for the contact.
Foreman's going to pick up her first. It's team 3rd of the first half.
Coach Oxford calls out a play, half-court defense for the Red Hawks.
If you're Coach Oxford, you're probably breathing a sigh of relief after the first 2.5 minutes of the start of this one.
Lanfer finds a cutting King, who bounces it inside for Davis, who missed everything. And the rebound down the hands of McDonald.
A couple of pretty bounce passes. You can see they work on that.
Ross up floor. Finds Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli driving on Lanfer, got tied up before she went to the floor. And the alternate possession stays with the Red Hawks.
Well, what defense by Bell right there. Quick hands. A couple of steals already. Tie up right there.
Natick working hard to bring it into the paint on the offensive end. Coach Oxford had mentioned that it was going to be one of their strengths of Natick, that is going to the paint and going directly at the basket, and it was going to be a point of emphasis for his defense to be able to handle that. Conversely, he said that he thinks that Natick's point of emphasis was going to be to try to guard the guards of the Mountaineers because they're so pinpoint accurate from range.
Ball lost out of bounds. Red Hawks with the inbound. Got tipped back toward the baseline. Stays here once again. 2:21 to play here in the first quarter. 2 seconds on the shot clock left here. Mountaineers a little more needed on their defense. The inbound, McDonald, catch and shoot. Got the rim. Ball down, shot missed. Davis the rebound in transition. It's King. King drive all the way to the basket. She got fouled going up there. It looked like Foreman never really turned around to play any kind of defense. She was just kind of running with her, bumped her with the hips.
Yeah.
Foreman's going to pick up her second. It's going to be team 4th. Wachusett right now still has a blank on the board for the fouls.
I was looking to see if I was like hallucinating there. 0.
Clean.
And halfway to bonus here.
The freshman King hits the first one from the line.
King now on the stat sheet.
Pushed lead to 6 at 10 for Wachusett.
10 unanswered by Wachusett. Make it 11.
Indeed. And now a quick timeout. Dan Heidenkamp said, we need to talk this over. So timeout taken. 2:11 to play here in the first quarter at 11-4. Mountaineer lead. K-Zone Game of the Week Playoff Edition, brought to you by ROI Office Furniture in Fitchburg. How would you like to save up to 70% on office furniture, workstations, seating, and more? ROI Office Furniture in Fitchburg is your complete business furniture source. Learn more at roioffice.com. Bill Thomas, the initial struggle for the Mountaineers to hit shots. You can go one of two ways. You could start getting a little touchy and try to force some things, or you can keep shooting the basketball, and eventually they will fall. After going down 4-0 and seemingly struggling for the first 2.5 to 3 minutes, the shots started to fall.
Yeah, and whose shot started to fall? Belle Lanford's, and she's their go-to person. She's not going to stop shooting. She missed the first 10. She thinks she's going to make the 11th shot, and the Mountaineers have found a way to reel off 11 straight here after they couldn't, find the rim, never mind find a basket in the first 2.5 minutes.
Out of the timeout taken by the Red Hawks. They'll have the basketball, their own defensive baseline. They can run it on the inbound. Ciccarelli creates some space by running that baseline, gets an inbound for McDonald.
Oh, boy.
And now Ciccarelli will run the point, but there is a screen off the ball, too strong, called against Laney Ross, and the ball goes back to the Mountaineers. That was far away from the basketball playing
action.
action.
The court right there, kind of a little body extra emphasis on the contact. Puts the Mountaineer player on the floor and creates a foul.
That's going to be their team 5th of the first half for the Red Hawks.
Lamford with the basketball. She'll drop it off to Behrenfeld. Behrenfeld. Playing catch with Lamford now on the right side of the arc. 15 to shoot. Lamford splits the defense. Scoops it up. Over the rim it goes and down. 13-4 Wachusett's lead. 1:45 to play in the first quarter.
Team high 9 points already, Bill Thomas, in the first half for Bell.
And Bell knows how to run that little crossover with that scoop shot.
They're going to have to get more physical.
13 they've scored thus far.
They're going to have to get more physical on Bell Lamford or the Red Hawks. They're going to be able to stop this scoring offense.
Shot off the mark for McDonald. Basketball comes down loose. It's picked up there by Pallotta in her first action of the night. Pallotta up 4, finds Behrenfeld. Behrenfeld swings it back top of the key King. King decides to go off the dribble.
Okay.
Bounce to the left side. Slings a shot from waist high. Hit the side of the rim. No good. Rebound down for Laney Ross.
That's what we call whaling and flailing.
A great example of that indeed.
A technical term, by the way.
Ross will get the ball back from Ciccarelli and then find McDonald. Pulls up for the 3, shorted on the front rim, and the rebound uncontested for Pallotta, the sophomore.
Right now, Natick appearing to be content with one-shot possessions on the offensive end, not cleaning things up under the basket in the rebound department.
Final 40 seconds of the first quarter. Lamford, underhand pass, found Behrenfeld, who fired the shot up from underneath the basket, got the underside of the rim, but drew body contact. 2 shots coming up for Behrenfeld. That's a real benefit, Bill Thomas. She got trapped underneath the rim, got bumped, flinging up another wailing and flailing type shot.
And how Lamford got that pass there, she barely touched it. Good thing that Belfeld was looking, because that ball was coming her way quick.
Softball-esque. It was underhand, and it was fired waist high.
Like turning the double play at second base, because she didn't have the ball long.
Behrenfeld picks up her first.
I didn't notice when Natick got on 4, but it's been about 6 minutes, these last 6 minutes of the first quarter, since it scored.
Second one hits everything possible and then falls. 2 of 2 on the trip for Behrenfeld, makes it a 15-4 lead for the Mountaineers. 10-second differential shot clock to game clock as the Red Hawks bring the ball up floor.
One of the things that you can notice from their stat sheet and their win-loss record, Wachusett's not going to take their foot off the gas. There's no chance of that happening. They will play 4 quarters full steam ahead.
McDonald finds the freshman Burke for a jumper on the left side, caught back of rim, ball down, another one-shot possession. Shot clock off, Lamford with the basketball, jab step, 3-pointer, rattles out, rebound down for McDonald, 4 seconds to play in the quarter. It's Ross, off a little contact, fires up the shot, can't get it over the front of the rim, and that's the way the first quarter will end. Here from Harrington Auditorium on the campus of WPI in Worcester. Wachusett 15, Natick 4 through 1 quarter here at Harrington Auditorium. And that last play and the fact that shot didn't quite roll over about sums up the Red Hawks' fortunes in this first quarter.
You couldn't have said that better, Todd. I mean, they come out, first 2 minutes controlling everything, Mountaineers couldn't find the rim of the backboard. Never mind score. 4-0. All of a sudden, the last 6 minutes.
The veterans in attendance get recognized by the MIAA, standing up for their country as well, and couldn't be more appropriate on a Super Tuesday and primary election season to have folks get recognized for their military service here as part of our country. Bill Thomas, you were saying.
The MIA's been doing that every game. It's a great honor. But, the first 2 minutes, all Natick. Mountaineers weren't even like they were still in the locker room mentally. Last 6 minutes, 15-0 run, and it's completely turned the game around, and Natick has zero momentum right now. They got to find some way to put the ball in the basket somehow.
Kate brought up the point a couple of moments ago, talking about them basically being forced to shoot from the outside, and that talks about the neutralization Wachusett was hoping for on their bigs down low.
Coach Oxford made it a point of emphasis. He knew it was their strength, and that in order for Wachusett to be successful, they were going to have to neutralize that threat in the paint.
Mountaineers start with the basketball at the beginning of this second quarter. Some passes around the rim. Lampfer starts to drive, picked up the pivot foot before putting the ball down. That's a walk, and the ball will go back to Natick.
Rare miscue.
Kate, and to build on your defensive comment there, I see a lot of hands-up defense, and I tell you, everybody says hands up, but players can be lazy until they think they can just jab them up there.
But the thing about Wachusett basketball, you don't want to put your hands up. Somebody else on the bench will, and they'll get out there. And the amount of talent that they have on that bench, somebody will put their hands up on D.
Foreman, well covered inside by Head, took the turnaround shot, and Head invaded the space down low, bumped her with the body. 2 shots coming up for the freshman. Foreman at the line.
First foul on Wachusett. It's team first, and that one is on Head.
First one up and away for Foreman will not go. Playoff action here on the K-Zone brought to you by Secure Energy Solutions. Secure Energy, specialists in procurement strategies for commercial and industrial energy users, asks, what's your strategy? Find your Secure Energy specialist at sesenergy.org. In Central Mass, your specialist is Patrick Karn. Second one goes for Foreman. 15-5, a 10-point basketball game. 45 seconds gone by here in the second quarter. Allen the drive, dropped a little pass from the low left block into the paint, and they said she skidded the pivot foot. Traveling violation called against the Mountaineers on a second straight second quarter possession.
Coach Oxford can't be happy with those turnovers, especially off the dribble like that.
Only 3, though, thus far for the Mountaineers. Natick with 9 turnovers.
They immediately grab some full court man-to-man pressure, and then they drop back now to the half-court man. And once again, here comes Head reaching across Maddie Foreman. She's giving up only a little bit in height and maybe a little bit in reach, and she again used the body first, reaching across, commits the foul, and that's going to force Coach Oxford to pull Charlotte Head out of the basketball game with 2 fouls quickly.
Only a sophomore is Charlotte Head, so a learning experience out there and a great one to have. 2 quick fouls on her, though, in the first half, so she is going to have to sit it out for a second. Get a little coaching from Coach Oxford.
And the senior Cat Head will take on the defensive work there. Although she's given up 6 inches, she bodied up on Brenna McDonald on the inside and forced the travel there. Ball back to the Mountaineers. Mountaineers running what looks like a 4-guard lineup with just Davis, the big on the floor, and she'd probably typically be maybe a small forward. She's got a little bit of height, but not quite what the Red Hawks have in the paint.
And again, Wachusett's guard play is their hallmark.
King bounces it into the lane for Davis, and up and down she goes. A travel in the ball back to the Red Hawks. Can't go up and still be holding the basketball when you come back down. 6:21 to play in the second quarter. 15-5, the Mountaineer lead.
Give Natick defender there some credit. Tried to go up the shot, changed her mind, but landed before she was able to convert that into a passing.
Ross, the drive down the left side of the lane from end to end. That one won't go. Put back opportunity for Foreman. She got fouled by Davis, and that sends Foreman to the line once again. Actually, it looks like they might have billed that to Lampfer. Yeah, they did.
It's going to be her first, team third.
And Foreman's first will fall.
Finding a way to get some points, even if it's at the line.
The lead
off that 4.
Down to 9. And Foreman 2 of 2 on the trip. You're going to give me the opportunities, I can convert them, she says. And so she does.
That's why they call them freebies.
Back down floor, an attempt to respond. Shut off the mark from Pallotta. Check it, Petto, the sophomore into the basketball game, missed the shot. And now rebound down for Ross. Ross with Lanford all over her, and Lanford reaches across Ross. And with Ross, senior on senior against Lanford, it's a dribbling exhibition. Ross is just trying to dribble her in circles and got Lanford to reach across her body.
Bell's got to be smarter than that, though. She knows that's a wasted foul out there, almost at midcourt.
2 minutes gone by in this second quarter. The lead down to 8. Inside pass McDonald for Foreman. Shot off the mark, and finally a whistle blows for a foul in the rebounding action against Foreman for coming over the top. Coach Oxford was standing on baseline looking at the baseline official saying that's got to be a foul. And that is the 7th foul called against the Red Hawks. So down floor, the Mountaineers will come to shoot a 1 plus a bonus opportunity.
And even more importantly there, Foreman, one of Natick's bigs now with 3 personal fouls. That's going to be team 7th.
5:41 to play here in the second quarter. 15-7, Wachusett's lead. And at the line, the freshman King. First of the 1-and-1, she gets it to go. A lot of contact there again.
Boxing out.
You'll notice the size has increased. Coach Dan Heinenkamp has gone to the bench. He's brought out even more size. Second one is off the mark for King. She might have been thinking about that contact she took after the first make. Back down floor they come. Do the Red Hawks chasing 9. Inside pass. Nice find for Burke. Inside for McDonald. Ran out of real estate at the baseline. Cycles the ball back around. They find Ciccarelli. Left side 3. Long of the mark. Off of McDonald, out of bounds. And the ball back to the Mountaineers.
Wake up the crowd a little bit, the Mountaineer crowd, letting her have it.
Wachusett doing a really nice job when Natick's in the offensive end, really shoving McDonald up against that baseline so she doesn't have any room to work or pass along the boards, and doing a really nice job making it very claustrophobic for McDonald, the Red Hawks.
Plan for the drive, push, shot, contact made with the basketball. McDonald denies. The ball will fly out of bounds. Mountaineers will keep it, 15 to shoot on the possession.
Good baseline defense right there by Natick.
Uh-oh.
All the way up top goes Petto, and Lanford will run the ball down back toward the midcourt. Now Lanford with the left-hand dribble, splits the defense, goes to the right, swatted away again by McDonald.
Not in my house.
And Ross fires the ball up floor.
Wachusett's going to have to get hot from the outside.
Inside for Burke, and another reach-in foul called here against the Mountaineers. It was King this time who came across the body.
Foul starting to mount up now for the Mountaineers.
They are. King picks up her first. It's team 5th of the first half.
After making it through the first quarter with a clean sheet and into the second quarter with a mostly clean sheet, the Mountaineers have seen them start to pile up. McDonald working on Davis, knocked her straight over. Davis tries to scoop up McDonald, and an offensive foul called, and the ball goes back to the Mountaineers. You could see the fans here pointing out that Davis, because she knows she's given up size on the inside to McDonald, she's literally from behind wrapping her with her arms around her body, doing everything she possibly can to even up the 6 inches.
Doing what she can.
Natick knows that they have outsized and out-physical Wachusett. Wachusett is all about finesse and speed.
King loses a defender, shot up, got bumped with the lower body, shot deflected away, and to the line she'll go. Kate King to the line, shoot 2 more.
You know, just to expand a little bit more on the Wachusett defense, they're playing man-to-man, but they double real quick off the weak side, and they're great to recover back over to the man on the rotation, whichever way the ball swings. And I think that's the key to their defense. They don't get caught flat-footed, and they how to help each other out in the cover. When somebody goes to double, somebody else is behind them to cover that open player.
King just hit that, and the scoreboard did not change.
Second one missed. So the first one was a make, second one a miss, and the score stays 16-7 on the board. Back down floor, a jumper for Foreman over the mark. The rebound down for Burke. She dribbled it out of trouble, and from under the basket, found an angle, shot up and good. Those points went on the board. Halfway through the second quarter, 16-9 is the posted score. Bounce out for King. It may have been deflected by Foreman out of the hand, but the shot will fall. And the Mountaineers have doubled up. It's 18-9. Inside McDonald, uses the elbow, creates a little space, shot over everything again at the rim, and the rebound down in the hands of Petto. Petto up floor, bounce pass inside King. One more pass, finds nice. Davis. Davis open on the left side and good.
Way to work the weak side lane right there. Draw the defense, find the open player.
Ross brings the ball up floor. 20-9 is Wachusett's lead. 3:20 to play in the second quarter, and this great offensive team, the Redhawks, hasn't crossed the double digits yet. Ross with the drive, took 2 steps, called for the walk.
They just gave... No, I think we're okay. Sorry. Get that fixed.
Kate is trying to figure out whether the board is corrected or not. Showing 20-9 in stadium here.
I'm going with what the board says.
And we'll go with that. Inside pass through the hands of Elaine from Pallotta. And the ball out of bounds. No touch there by the Redhawks. And so Natick gets the ball back.
If I had to put my money on one or the other, Kate.
Don't do it, Billy. Don't you do it.
Just saying.
Too much pressure.
Just saying.
Too much pressure.
Ross brings the ball up floor with the loose dribble, calling and crossing the midcourt stripe. Ball out of play. Now it goes inside. It's Burke. Turnaround from McDonald. She cleared out space, missed the first shot, missed the second, and up and underneath came King. King with the clear out defense. She did whatever she could. Again, she's trying to even up that size differential. Just keep backing up, and they say that was too far back. Foul call.
King picks up her second, team 6th for Wachusett. Problem is that those 6 fouls to a
inbound high from Ross into the hands of McDonald. Flushes the shot in the paint and builds Thomas. The pass came in high. She kept it high. She finished high.
Nice inbounds pass right there.
2.5 to play here in the second quarter. Into double digits come the Redhawks, 20-11.
I think if the Redhawks are going to be successful, McDonald's going to have a stellar night.
Lanford with the bounce pass inside for Head. Had it stripped away. And here comes Ross. Back up floor in the hands of Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli floats post. This time it's Foreman. Foreman, spin move into lane. Banked off glass and good.
Natick doing a good job of hanging around here.
2:05 play in the second quarter and a 7-point Mountaineer lead.
5-point quarter here for Wachusett. 6 minutes in the second quarter.
And Lemfer's been awfully quiet in the second frame as well. Loses a defender, drives the lane, got it up on the rim, and it hung for a while, but it would not fall for Belle Lanfer. Back up floor, here comes Foreman. Foreman takes an open 3 and hits. 20-16 the score. Here come the Redhawks back in the basketball game, and Coach Jim Oxford, quick off the bench, says timeout to stem the tide and stop that Redhawk run.
Got to do something. Wachusett Mountaineers having trouble scoring the basket right now, and 5 points in, and 6 minutes here in this second quarter. Only 5 points, unacceptable.
No, go ahead, Kate.
Very interesting to see how different these two teams are with the amount of size and physicality that Natick has inside the paint, and really using that to their advantage, especially on the offensive boards. On the other hand, right now, Wachusett had been playing their normal game plan of that perimeter shooting, the quickness, the finesse, getting back quickly. Right now, though, I think they really are playing into the hand of Natick, particularly when they're on the offensive end of things. If they get anywhere near that paint, Natick outsizes them and is going to outbody them just about every time.
K-Zone, your home for the most live games, also your home for the most live playoff games. And after tonight's playoff action, come right back tomorrow night, same time, here on the K-Zone. It's a playoff hockey doubleheader. First at 5:30, Lunenburg and Hopedale will battle in the 3A Central Final, and then Wachusett and Neshoba battle in the Division III Final. Both games to be played at the Wallace Civic Center in Fitchburg. Dan and Dan on the call. Dan Bolak, Dan McAuliffe here for the K-Zone. AM 1280, 105.3 FM. Your home for most live games, regular season, and playoffs as well. Lamfer right out of timeout with a drive to the basket. Shot good. Back down floor defensively now. A quick pick. And it's head up floor. Finds Pallotta. Shot missed everything. Rebound down for Foreman.
One comment about Belle Lanfer, those were her first points of the second quarter. With 1 minute remaining now.
And under that minute we go. Toward halftime we head. The find inside for Ross. For McDonald. She leans, banks it in and good. And so the Mountaineers lead is 22-18, 45 seconds until halftime. Allen, the drive. She got bumped from behind. McDonald in disbelief, but 2 shots come in the way.
That'll be McDonald's second. It's going to be team limits.
For Allen. 40 and 5/10 seconds until halftime. And Allen's shot is up, and it goes. Playoff game here on the K-Zone brought to you by North End Mazda. North End Mazda, Chase Road in Lunenburg, has the latest new and used Mazda and Subaru inventory online at buynorthend.com. Second one goes as well, 2 of 2 on the trip for the freshman Allen. And the final 40 seconds here until halftime.
Nice job right there. Good concentration on the line. Mountaineers needed those 2 points.
Ross for Ciccarelli. Goes inside McDonald. Steps toward the lane. Shorted the shot. And the loose ball rebound for Pilata. Shot clock is off.
Oh.
Pilata fires one up floor. She was looking for Davis, who had slipped by the defense, but fired it out of bounds instead. And the ball back to the Red Hawks with a chance to draw this game even closer as we head toward halftime.
Coach Oxford is not going to be happy with that carelessness.
McDonald up floor for Ross. Ross the right-hand dribble all the way to the right block and then pulls back off play. 15 seconds until halftime. McDonald with the basketball off the right side of the arc. Coach calling for his defense to cave back a little bit. Meanwhile, 5 seconds until halftime. Ross the drive and an offensive foul called. And the ball back to the Mountaineers with 3 and 7/10 seconds until halftime.
Nice hold your ground defense right there. Good job by the Mountaineers. Nice switching defense in general, though, just to create some confusion on that last possession as the clock was winding down.
Petto up floor, puts it in the hands of Allen. Allen for Davis, fired it up short of the mark. That's the buzzer, and that's halftime here from Harrington Auditorium in Worcester with the score. Wachusett 24 and Natick 18. Mountaineers started off great in the first quarter, struggled in the second, but were able to maintain their lead as they find their way toward halftime.
Yeah, and, Belle Lanford found a way to get her points, but struggled in the second quarter there. Allowed Natick to make a run at him and cut a double-digit lead down to a nice manageable 6 here going into the locker room.
Tournament action here on the K-Zone brought to you by Chapdelaine Truck Center. Chapdelaine Truck Center is your Fisher plow distributor, and the experts at Chapdelaine will help you pick the right plow for the job. Route 2A in Lunenburg or online at chaptruck.com. Halftime from Harrington Auditorium. 24-18 Wachusett on top of Natick. A break and we're back with more. It's the K-Zone Game of the Week here on WPKZ. back high above Harrington Auditorium's playing surface here on the campus of WPI. Division I Central Mass Sectional Semifinal, Wachusett and Natick at halftime here on the K-Zone AM 1280, 105.3 FM, WPKZstream.com, and with our partners at Rivalry Family Media. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and happy to have you along with us as we continue on. 24-18, Wachusett on top of Natick in the 2-3 battle on the bottom half of this 8-team bracket. It's been an interesting first half of action, and the numbers will bear it out, for just how tight it has been. Kate will have those for you in a moment. Halftime here brought to you by Colonial Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Hudson. See the difference that selection, service, and price make. Dealer of the Year 7 years in a row. Online at buycolonialdodge.com. And what an interesting first half, Kate, that we saw. We were expecting a lot of fireworks, and what we got was a first quarter, at least for the first 2 or 3 minutes, that had no scoring at all.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they took the lids off the basket, and then the team started to figure it out. And even though Natick grabbed an early lead, they trailed for most of the rest of that first quarter and on into the early part of the second. But they've drawn close here in halftime.
Well, and if you do the math, even if you double up what you have in this first half of play, neither of these teams is going to come anywhere close to their points per game average for the entire season. Right now, Wachusett, I highly doubt, has been kept to anything close to 24 points in the first half of play in any of their matchups over the course of the regular season, and I'm fairly confident, although we don't see a lot of Natick here in Central Mass for most of the regular season, I highly doubt that they have been kept under 20 points in a first half all season long, if you have that stat for us.
Double checking the averages here. If the Mountaineers were to double up, they would be about 9 points shy of their season average per game, which is roughly 59 points per game. But on the defensive side of the basketball, they are right on point. They've been allowing about 32, almost 33 points to their opponents per game across their 21 wins. And right now, with only 18 on the side of the Red Hawks, they're right on their average.
Well, that's the interesting part, because although both of these teams have prolific scoring offenses, on the defensive end of the ball, both of these teams have done a very, very nice job all season long against their opponents. It's not just that they are phenomenally offensively, but they do a very nice job on defense. The trick the problem that I'm seeing right now is that Natick, I think, if they get McDonald going, although McDonald right now has 2 fouls for Natick, she's the big out there. If she has a great night, if Wachusett continues to play into her hand rather than staying along the perimeter. I remember last year in the playoff game against Leominster, Wachusett was hitting threes left, right, center. Didn't matter. Right now, Belle Lampher only has 1 3-point shot. They haven't really attempted any others that I know of. So right now, I really do feel like Wachusett not playing to their strength, which is guard play and perimeter shooting. They've been putting things right down the throat, right into McDonald's breadbasket in the paint, and they're playing right into Natick's hand. Their lineup continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger out there because Wachusett continues to go into the paint on the offensive end. On the flip side, I think that Wachusett was doing a great job on the defensive end. They got to be careful, though, because right now their fouls are really starting to add up as well.
Kate's first half stats brought to you by Acme Carpet One in Lunenburg, a local family-owned floor covering store that understands you care about your home and need quality workmanship. Online at acmecarpet1.com. Kate, let's have those first half stats.
All right, let's take a look at the Natick Red Hawks first and foremost. Let's take a look at team totals first. 15 rebounds, no steals, 9 turnovers as a team. They are 3 of 4 from the charity stripe, so 75%. Individual notable statistics, Burke has 2 points right now, McDonald with 6, Foreman right now with a team-high 10 points. She is on her own, 3 of 4 from the line, but notably, Natick's fouls really, especially in that first quarter, added up quickly. Ross right now has 3 fouls. Burke has 1 foul, McDonald has 2, and Foreman right now is carrying 3. If we take a look at the Mountaineers side of the ball, team totals first 10 rebounds, 3 steals, 10 turnovers. As a team, they're shooting 8 of 10 from the line. That's 80%. Now let's take a look at individual notable statistics. The first thing that I'm noticing off the stat sheet is they've got scoring contributions from a vast number of players out there, whereas Natick only getting scoring contributions from 3 people on the stat sheet. Let's take a look at those Mountaineers right now. You've got Allen with 4 points, Davis with 2, Bierfeld with 2 points, Belle Lamfer with a team-high 11 first-half points, but Natick was able to hold her to a single basket in the second quarter, which is key. She was fabulous in the first quarter, very quiet on the offensive end in the second quarter. She's going to have a great night for the Mountaineers because otherwise the point total is going to be stagnant if Belle Lamfer doesn't get things going for Wachusett. And King has 6 points. She's 4 of 6 from the line.
Playoff basketball here on the K-Zone, brought to you by these fantastic sponsors. Acme Carpet One, Chapdelaine Truck Centers, Secure Energy Solutions, ROI Office Furniture, and Bolton Orchards. We thank you all so much for your support in our coverage here on the K-Zone of a state title run. So many teams, so much to cover, so much action, and we've got more of it to come for you here on the K-Zone. The MIAA would like you to remember that high school sports provides an extension of the classroom where students learn to pursue excellence, the value of working with others toward a common goal, playing within the structure of established rules, discipline, loyalty, and emotional control. The MIAA urges you to demonstrate your support for these values and for our young people by attending high school competitions in your community. The MIAA, building the future through athletics. Winding down toward the third 8 minutes as we will wrap up halftime here from Harrington Auditorium on the campus of WPI. And the Red Hawks will start with the basketball. They'll go right to left here in quarter number 3.
Right away to McDonald inside the paint, playing to their strengths.
And she finds some room over the top of Davis, lays it in and good. And all of a sudden, that Mountaineer lead has evaporated to just 2 baskets. 4 points is the difference at 24-20 Wachusett. First offensive possession for them in the second half.
It's going to be very difficult for Wachusett to be able to body up against McDonald for the entirety of the game with her physicality and presence in the paint.
And for the handoff to Allen. Allen the drive, takes the body contact, and she'll go to the line for 2 shots. These 2 shot opportunities, Bill Thomas, are going to be key for the Mountaineers. If you're giving up size, you got to drive to the basket, get them in foul trouble, make your shots at the free throw line.
Yeah, and we saw how the Mountaineers struggled the first 2 to 3 minutes of both the first quarter and the second quarter. They can't let that happen here coming out of the halftime locker room. You know, I'm sure Natick has to come out of the locker room feeling good, only be down 6, and then to come up with a quick basket here to start the second half. You know, renewing their confidence, and Mountaineers got to find a way to take it away from them.
Second one goes as well for Allen. 2 of 2 on the trip. First 2 points on the board in the second half for the Mountaineers with about 30 seconds gone by. Their lead back to 6 at 26-20. It's Ross with the crossover dribble, half court to our left. Drops it inside Foreman. Foreman has her pocket picked by Lamfer. Now Lamfer on her horse, ahead of the break. Lays it in and good. Coast to coast goes Belle Lamfer, and she's on the score sheet in the second half.
And that's that help out blindside defense. Mountaineers are great at it.
She's got a team-high 13 points.
Ross for McDonald. Shot hits the underside of the rim. No good. Now tipped. They say last touch by Lamfer, and Natick's getting the basketball back. And Ross will inbound underneath the basket to our left. She'll float all the way up top. She'll find Ciccarelli, who gets bumped by Belle Lamfer. Lamfer knew she had over-pursued the play. She tried to stop and then immediately collided with Ciccarelli and dropped her. Tough way to give up a foul.
Yeah, and that's well, go ahead, Kate.
That's her third. It's going to be team first of the second half, but more importantly, Belle Lamfer cannot foul out of this game for Wachusett.
Absolutely. There's 2 fouls at least.
Ross goes inside for Foreman, got bounced with some body contact, got called for a walk falling to the floor, and the ball goes back to the Mountaineers.
You know, Belle committed a foul out near half court in the first half. I bet she wished she had back also.
6.5 to play here in the third quarter, 28-20. Belle Lamfer, the senior, still on the floor, playing with 3 fouls. She's got the basketball, the right-hand dribble, down the lane, splits 2 defenders, from the right block, lays it in and good.
And that's why she's playing with 3 fouls, Todd and Kate, and I think she's going to stay on the floor.
A 6-0 run for the Mountaineers. And right down floor comes Foreman, who steps out of bounds. And the ball back to Wachusett. That one an unforced error. She didn't know where she was on the floor.
The only thing I will say is I think that Coach Oxford is going to have to tell Bell, you can play with reckless abandon on the offensive end, but when you get onto the defensive end, you're going to have to play conservatively.
Yeah, she loves to switch and take chances.
She'll step back three. She was shaking her head right off of her fingertips. That was a missed three. It missed everything. Directly out of bounds it goes, and the ball back to the Red Hawks. The body English of the shooter will tell you so much. And Lanford was shaking her head as soon as the ball rolled off the fingertips.
Well, the best at that was Larry Bird. He knew right where his rebound was going as soon as he knew it was going to miss. And the shooter's usually the first one to know.
5:55 to play here in the third quarter. The Mountaineers' lead has gone back to 10 at 30-20. McDonald inside, little fadeaway off Davis, shorted the shot off the rim. Rebound down for the Mountaineers. In transition, Allen finds King, the jumper. She gets wiped out on play, and 2 shots coming up for King at the line.
Maybe 3. I'm not trying to see where she was there.
They do. They signal 3
Yeah,
shots.
3 shots.
She was out there. Got bailed out, too. She was at an awkward angle out there on the baseline.
Foreman just picks up her 4th for Natick. It's going to be team second, so that's a big blow for the Red Hawks. Again, Foreman, another formidable presence in the paint.
So 2 key players, one on either side, in foul trouble here as King hits the first. 31-20, the lead now 11 for the Mountaineers. 2 more shots coming at the line for King. That one will fall from the line. She body English that one, and she dropped to her knees. She pulled the hook on it, and down it falls.
It looked like it was going to settle on the flat of the rim there, but fell through.
And the third one up and away now goes as well. 3 of 3 on the trip.
Time.
She made that one hurt.
That
King
was
now
a
with
good
9.
3. Protective foul, very productive.
From a lead that had evaporated to 4 and is now ballooned back to 13. It's 33-20 Mountaineers. Ross the drive down the lane, split 2 defenders, shot over the rim and good. And the lead is now 11 at 33-22. The screen for Allen. Allen, inside pass looking for Davis. It got tipped away. Ciccarelli with the pick. Up floor she finds Ross. Ross now to Burke, seeing some extended action. She'll go inside for McDonald. McDonald with backpedaling, and the foul call on the reach in again.
Looks like they're going to get King.
Yeah, it looked like King got picked for that one.
Getting a little grabby.
Her third as well, Kate, I do believe.
King picks up her 3rd. It's going to be team second.
McDonald off the inbound. Body contact called on Allen, trying to body up there. She's given away about 1.5 feet on McDonald. Tried to play defense. Got called for the block. 2 shots coming up on the miss, but fouled for McDonald.
They're trying to neutralize McDonald in the paint. The problem is that in order for them to match physically, they have to foul every single time she touches the ball.
First one for McDonald up and good. That's the old hack-a-shack approach.
You got it.
But if she can make it work from the foul line.
Problem is if you foul up, you can't stop her.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're running very quickly out of players.
How do you spread those fouls around a bunch of starters and not hurt yourself?
And it's been about a 7-person rotation Mountaineers have run as McDonald finishes the second. I think Coach Oxford has maybe gone as deep as 8 tonight. He maybe pulled an 8th player off the bench. Other than that, 3 players have seen the floor. The drive and foul committed this time looked like it was on the inside of the action. It was. 32. Ryan Scully seeing her first action. She makes arm contact with Allen, who will send Allen to the line for 2 shots. The one thing I can say with this approach is that if the Mountaineers can hit their foul shots, as Allen misses that first one there on this trip,
Jinx.
At the end of the day, they can win this basketball game from the foul line if there's anybody left.
They're shooting above 80% from the line right now.
And they'll add one more to the total. 34-24, the lead 10 once again.
And they're doing a good job of holding off these mini runs that Natick's been able to throw at them.
Yeah, just not letting him get into a groove.
Ross up floor looking for Ciccarelli. Lamford knocked it back to Ross. Lamford ended up in the front row, scrambled back into the defensive formation. Now Ciccarelli inside for McDonald. Created the space, laid it off the glass and good.
Using her body and her height right there very nicely. Got position and showed some patience.
Oh, Lamford.
Lamford got some room off the right block. In and good goes that lay in, and the
Nice
lead
cut.
is 10 again.
Lanford with a team-high 17 points for Wachusett. If you take a look at when Natick is on the offensive end, they've gotten some really nice shots from three-point range.
McDonald turn around from the left blockade, gets that one to go. And it's 36-28 halfway through the third quarter.
But every time, they distribute it directly to McDonald.
You certainly know what the methodology is going to be. Allen finds Lanford and then a screen. Lanford through the lane. Lost the defender in Ciccarelli. Took the shot and missed it from point-blank range. Rebound tipped up there from Scully. Will work its way forward to Ross. Inside McDonald. McDonald goes inside out back to Ross. Playing a little two-person game. The screen and now the step back. And the throw from Ross looking for McDonald this time. Got picked. Picked up floor, and here it comes in transition from Bearfeld.
You can see it on every single possession. Feed McDonald, feed McDonald.
Indeed. Lanford gets an opportunity at a three. Hard in and out. Rebound down in the hands of Ross.
Set from the outside.
They got to stop fronting her. It's the only way they're going to stop that.
Ciccarelli drive around the world. Shot is up short. McDonald got the loose ball. Rebound. Off glass and good. And Coach Oxford spends a timeout stopping the clock. 2:59 to play in the third quarter. His lead is 6 at 36-30. And perhaps this is the opportunity to diagram up that very thing. They'll have an offensive possession, and then they got to go right back down floor and get back on defense, trying to stop McDonald. And he said it to us before the game. We mentioned it off the top of the broadcast. The goal for the Mountaineers was to neutralize that interior play that was going to be played by the Red Hawks. And right now, they've been successful.
Well, they have been fairly successful. But the problem is that in their success, they've been adding up the fouls. So in the last 4 minutes of game clock, they've not gotten as many fouls. There's only 3 team fouls for Wachusett because they've softened that defense just a little bit. Not as much reaching, not as much bodying up against McDonald. And already in this third quarter, she's got 10 points in the third quarter for the Red Hawks. They've done a nice job, has Wachusett, in trying to limit Foreman's contributions. She doesn't have any points in the third quarter. She was held to 10 points in the first half. But right now, it's the McDonald show for the Red Hawks, and they know that if Wachusett wants to body up against McDonald, they're going to foul, and their starters are going to foul out.
And they're going to have to risk fouling out of the game in order to neutralize that threat indeed. Ball coming back in play. Mountaineers going to take it from the full court defensive end all the way down floor.
Wachusett needs to start hitting from the perimeter when they're on the offensive end. That's their bread and butter, has been.
Allen, back top of the key, Davis. Davis had a flashing Lanford, decided not to pass it to her. Stuck with the ball top of the key. She'll now drop it off for Petto. Petto the drive. Kick, go corner Allen. Allen now steps up inside the arc, takes a little jumper, won't go, and the rebound down for Foreman.
Nothing falling right now for the Mountaineers.
Well, especially in the rebounding action. They're getting out-rebounded because of the size differential with McDonald and Foreman.
McDonald off the bounce, jumper, won't go. Directly out of bounds, it heads, and Lanford watches it cross the baseline, and the ball back to the Mountaineers.
It's a nice job letting McDonald shoot from about, 7 to 10 feet. I'm letting her shoot from that far away all day, every day. It's when she gets into that paint that she becomes incredibly dangerous.
2:10 to play in the third quarter, 36-30, the Mountaineer lead. Davis plays catch, this time with King. King puts the ball on the floor, now directs traffic. Crosses over, takes it to the foul line. No look, drop off, Lanford 3. Back rim, no. Battle for the rebound. Petto is tied up with McDonald, and on the alternate possession, the ball stays with the Mountaineers. Petto again gives up about half a foot or more on the inside.
And that's, if you're Wachusett, that's really all you can hope for, because you're not going to out-jump Red Hawks.
That was as good as a rebound right there.
Lanford finds Allen. There was an in and out of the hands play along the baseline. They say last touched off the Mountaineers, so it's Natick basketball. 1:45 to play in the third quarter, 36-30 the Mountaineer lead as Natick comes on the approach. Ross feeds McDonald at the foul line. She takes the foul line jumper, and she hits. Token defensive pressure there from Davis. And McDonald says, you're going to give me this shot? I can hit it.
Made that 15-footer look easy.
Up floor, Petto with a chance to respond. Three-pointer from the right corner doesn't go. Rebound down for Davis. Battle on the rebound, then a foul call. And they charge this one to Alicia Owens. some of her first action, and she's in and out. Short trip on the floor for her.
Team fourth.
Petto floats all the way up top for Lanfer. 1:20 to play here in the third. Lanfer the no look. Petto the three. Off the mark to the right. Lanfer knocked the ball loose from Foreman. Headed to the baseline. The baseline official had no clue who it last hit off of in the paint. So the center official says the ball goes back away of the red and white.
Yeah, I think you got it right, too. Looked like it bounced off Lanford's foot.
Off of her knee or foot.
Ross up floor finds Burke. Burke to McDonald. McDonald in a triple team. Loses a defender. Ross takes the three. And they say it's two with the toes on the line. And Coach Heidenkamp, he wanted the three, tried to buy it, and the official shook his head at him and said, no, it's a two. 36-34, under 50 seconds to play in the third quarter. The jumper won't go. Davis, the putback, also won't go. Lanfer dribbles the rebound out of trouble. About a 10-second differential. Lanfer spots up a three from the left corner, and she buries it.
The Mountaineers needed that one right there. They were in trouble.
Yes.
30 seconds until the fourth and final quarter. Final 30 seconds of this third. 39-34. The pass inside from Burke. Heads out of bounds. They were looking for McDonald again. She was bothered on the play and couldn't catch it.
Once again, go ahead, Kate.
Nope, sorry. Go ahead, Billy.
These mini runs, Mountaineers finding a way to survive them.
Belle Lanfer's going to have to put this Mountaineers team on her shoulders and carry it through the fourth quarter because she's going to have to match what McDonald does on the other end.
Shot clock off. 10 seconds left in this third quarter. Here's the drive. Kick back. Crossover. Lanfer trying to lose a defender with 3 seconds. Pulls up with two. Got it on the rim. It rolls off. McDonald the rebound. Buzzer. And that's the end of the third quarter here from Harrington Auditorium on the campus of WPI. Wachusett the 2 seed on top of Natick the 3 seed by a 39-34 mark. This lead has gotten as close as 2 in the third quarter. But Natick has not been able to overcome that early deficit.
No, and the Mountaineers finding a way to get that basket. You know, Natick hanging around. I'm sure Mountaineers are feeling a little bit of pressure every time Natick Redhawks make that run. But finding a way to come up with that big basket, not let Natick get over that hump and somehow grab a lead.
Bank Hometown's free checking account works for you with free online bill pay, mobile check deposits, and over 4,000 free ATMs. Visit bankhometown.com or in Leominster, your local branch, Sac Boulevard. There's 7 other area locations as well to open your free account today with Bank Hometown. K-Zone playoff coverage here on AM 1280, 105.3 FM and WPKZstream.com. We would say a very special hello to Miss Gloria Oxford. Yes, sounds very familiar. That's Coach Jim Oxford's wife. He said she could not be here this evening, but she would be joining us on the broadcast, cheering from afar. I know how difficult that can be. She's here in spirit tonight supporting the Mountaineers, and we say hello to Gloria Oxford. Traveling violation called on McDonald as we start the fourth and final frame, and the ball back to Mountaineers.
Right now, the difference in this game, Wachusett is 14 of 17 from the line. They're shooting 82%.
Pallotta sets a screen for Lanfer. Lanfer drops the ball in the corner. Petto's three from the right corner. It's just a little bit to the right. It's about the third she's missed from the exact same spot, the exact same way. Down floor. Ross for Ciccarelli. Spins at the left elbow. And the push called on Petto, using that forearm out in front on defense. 7:21 to play in the fourth quarter. 39-34 Mountaineers the lead. Ciccarelli stumbles. Long 4 count. Ross finds the inbound for Foreman. Foreman overhead, crossover dribble, and reach-in foul called on Pallotta.
Foreman back on the court here in the fourth quarter. She carrying 4 fouls, Kate, Foreman is.
I'm sorry, Billy, who?
Foreman. Is she playing with 4 now?
She's playing with 4, yep.
Back on the court here for the fourth quarter.
Ross the drive, screened it back, found Foreman. Foreman the drive with the left hand, got the shot up, count the basket, +1.
Speaking of Foreman, making his presence known right away here as soon as she's put back in the game.
Closes it to a 3-point game, has a chance to make it a single possession 2-point basketball game from the free throw line.
Foreman 3 of 4 Make it 4 or 5.
She got that one to go. 39-37 Mountaineers on top of Red Hawks. Just a minute gone by in this fourth quarter. Here comes Lanford running the point here and calling signals. Davis will screen for Lanford. Lanford drives the post. She gets fouled. They say it's in the act of shooting, so 2 shots coming her way.
Lanford kind of bailed out there, a little out of control down the lane, and somebody got the hand on the wrist there, keeping her from getting up with a good shot.
Ciccarelli picks up her third. It's going to be team 5th for Natick.
Lanford at the line.
Her first time to the line tonight.
And rolls out, does the first shots.
Oops.
Lanford another opportunity, 6:56 to play here in the fourth quarter. And the shot away, and Lanford gets that one to go. That one looked a heck of a lot better. 40-37, Wachusett on top of Natick. Just a 3-point basketball game and a lead that has been as many as 10 times 12 in the first half.
They're up 11 in the first quarter.
Ball picked by Pallotta. Pallotta in transition. 2-on-1 down the floor. She took it all the way, did Pallotta. She missed the lay-in. And the rebound down for Foreman. Foreman up floor for Ciccarelli. Finds McDonald. McDonald to the paint. Offensive foul! McDonald is apoplectic on the floor, as is Foreman, but she dipped her shoulder on the crossover dribble. That's going to get you called every time offensively.
Good defensive footwork right there. Defensive play is staying in the path, but taken down. Good call there.
That's going to be McDonald's third. It's going to be team 6th on the Red Hawks.
And here come the Mountaineers up floor from left to right to half court right. 6:20 to play here in the fourth. It's Head. Ball overhead. Cross court skip. Puts it in the hands of Pallotta. Pallotta then tries to go back to Head, cutting down the lane. It got tipped by Foreman. Head corrals, took the shot over the top of Maddie Foreman and got it to fall and forces a timeout. Coach Dan Heinenkamp stops the clock with 6:03 to play in the fourth quarter and a 42-37 Mountaineer lead.
Great recovery right there by Head. Not the best interior pass, but she found a way to corral it, gain control, and found the basket.
You can see the intensity on both benches here. They know it. They both feel it. These games have been battles year in and year out. This game ended in overtime in their matchup last year. 3 years in a row they've played. A number of them have gone the way of the Mountaineers. 4 out of the last 5 years they have played each other in total.
They know each other well.
We might get some bonus basketball tonight the way things are going. You know, and the thing of note, and I'm going to venture into your category, Kate, both teams sitting on 6 fouls. Foul shots are going to play a big role here coming down the stretch.
Indeed they are.
Winner of this one gets the winner of the second semifinal in this Division I Central Mass bracket on Friday at 8 p.m. at Worcester State. Franklin and Holy Name are in the top half of the bracket semifinal. That battle will come up here at Worcester State, at WPI after we wrap up our broadcast here with this first one. But the winner will get the winner of this one in the Division I Central Mass sectional final on Friday at 8 p.m. Which teams will be there? Still yet to be determined. The runner for Jenna Foreman gets it to fall through the lane. And that much closer come the Red Hawks at 42-39, 5:40 to play here in the fourth. Lanford with the right-hand dribble. Pops it off for Pallotta. Pallotta crosses to the left hand. Scoop up under. Swatted down by McDonald. Out of bounds. It stays with the Mountaineers.
Red Hawks have 4 players on the court right now that outsize everybody on the court for Wachusett.
And they're all playing the low blocks in a picket fence on a straight line on the low half of the floor.
Wachusett has to start getting hot from the perimeter.
Lanford with a right-hand dribble. Kick to the corner. Finds King. King the 3. Back rim, no. Rebound down for McDonald, the senior.
That's what Wachusett needs to have hit, and have hit on the first attempt.
Ciccarelli gets set up for a 3 in the left corner. In and out goes that opportunity, and Lamb for the rebound. Dribbling in transition, up floor, finds Pallotta, who finishes at the rim.
Oh, touchdown.
Indeed, a long streaking pass up floor from Lamper to a wide open Pallotta who finishes. 44-39, green and white, 4:45 to play in the fourth. Some body contact there on McDonald, not called. Back up top, it goes to Ross. She absorbs contact, but finishes at the rim. 3-point basketball game at 44-41.
It's getting tighter and tighter. Every single quarter, Natick has chopped part of the lead. They were down by 11 after 1, down by 6 after 2, down by 5 after 3, and right now it's a 3-point basketball game.
Off the dribble. King finds Lamfer. Lamfer takes it back top of the key, 12 to shoot. Now she drives it down the lane. Got the space she needed to complete that lay-in.
That's the way to regroup there at the foul line, then just burst down the lane before the defense got set.
It's a team high 23 for Belle Lamfer. She needs more.
Ciccarelli gets an open look at a three, too strong. Rebound McDonald. Turn around in the lane. Won't go. Ross the rebound. Smallest player on the floor comes up with another one. Gets a screen down the lane. Took a block call there. Shot maybe have been on the way up, so it might be a two-shot opportunity here. It's a judgment call on the officials. They say no, it was not in the act of shooting. 1-1 the opportunity here.
Yeah, call was on the floor there at the top of the, right at the foul line, and she first made that turn towards the basket. This is where foul shots are going to play a big role here. Everybody's shooting the rest of the way.
Ross composes herself and heads to the foul line. 3:49 to play in the fourth. 46-41. Natick's deficit to close is 5. And the first of the 1-1 doesn't go, but Foreman the rebound. And then she tiptoed with it. A traveling call and ball back to the Mountaineers.
Quick call there. Looked like she got the ball out to the perimeter, but official right on it.
And the Mountaineer faithful in beach attire say you can't do that out on the floor. Well put. Into the corner. It's Head. Triple threat position. Puts the ball on the floor. Takes it baseline from the right side. Lay-in won't go. Ball tipped on the rebound. And ripped down, finally controlled by Foreman. Foreman for Ross to Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli from the left side. Drives on Lamfer. Had it poked away. And here it comes in transition. It's Allen all the way to the basket. Spun it over the rim and got it to go.
Nice job right there. Staying in control with the pressure all the way down the court.
The Mountaineer lead is 7 at 48-41. 3 minutes to home. The inside find. Ross for McDonald. Created the space. Turnaround shot in the lane will go. And an immediate timeout for Coach Dan Heinenkamp. 2:58 to play in the fourth quarter. The lead once again 5 at Wachusett 48 and Natick 43. Playoff action here on the K-Zone brought to you by Clear Path for Veterans New England, supported by Northeast Insurance Agency. Supporting Clear Path for Veterans New England's Community Center at Devens supports families and provides connections to the latest in wellness options. We owe it to them to do our part in supporting them. Donate now at clearpathne.org. Sponsored by Northeast Insurance Agency. On the reset here, fouls. Both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the way. Wachusett has been billed for 7. Natick's been shooting since the last foul. Natick has 6. The Mountaineers will shoot on the next foul call against the Red Hawks. Possession arrow favors the Mountaineers on a tie-up. And the Mountaineers have that 5-point lead at 48-43. 2:58 to play here in the fourth quarter. And they'll have the basketball. They've got the full court to work with. They'll come from their own defensive left. Confusion at the table. There was a late substitution. No. There was a quick buzz from the official scorer. So they didn't allow a substitution. It's going to be a sub that's going to stay at the table here. And so the inbound will come from left to right. Here comes the freshman Allen with control of the basketball. She'll drive to the right side. Drop it off in the hands of Head, who shifted her base. Walk called, ball back to Natick.
Unforced errors for Wachusett right now, really killing their momentum. And Natick taking advantage because every single time Wachusett's in the offensive end, they only get one shot possession because they're being out-rebounded because of the size of the Red Hawks.
Ciccarelli squares up a three-point from the right side of the arc, shorted it off the front of the rim, long rebound right into the hands of Allen. Allen working the right-hand dribble. Kick back for Lanford. Lanford thought about it. Jab step back three. Rims out. Rebound down for Ross. Tied up in a trap. Held ball the call. To the Mountaineers go the basketball on the alternate possession.
That was a fortunate turnover there on the possession arrow. Red Hawks had their hands on that rebound.
Pallotta will float it inbound for Head. Working half court to the right. Davis will set a screen with a handoff to Lanford. Step back three. Front rim, no. Battle for rebound. McDonald had position.
They're being out-rebounded nearly 3-1.
Very few defensive rebounds, too.
Final 2 minutes of regulation, a 5-point lead for the Mountaineers.
No offensive rebounds for Wachusett in the game.
Foreman for McDonald, for Ciccarelli. Tried the overhead scoop. The ball bounced out into the hands of McDonald. Johnny on the spot finishes the shot.
McDonald with a team-high 22 points so far.
Mountaineers got to be clock conscious here.
Final 95 seconds of regulation. A 3-point Mountaineer lead.
Because you know you're only getting one shot per possession, you might as well bring that shot clock all the way down.
Head drives to basket instead, lays it in and good, and crosses the 50-point mark. Ross the drive, and a block called on Pallotta. The official looked ready to call an offensive foul. He loaded up the hand and then threw on the brakes and called the block instead. It will send Ross to the line.
That'll be her third. It's going to be team eighth.
1:19 to play in the fourth quarter. Ross, the senior, at the line. Short knee bend, flip to the ball up at the rim, and the first free throw will go.
She can make this a one-possession game right here if she can hit this free throw.
50-46, the Mountaineer lead. And the second one, flipped up and good again. And Coach Heinenkamp spends a timeout, 1:19 to play in fourth quarter in a 3-point basketball game. It's Wachusett 50 and Natick 47.
How many times we can say Natick just keeps hanging around, hanging around, hanging around.
Now Natick with only one timeout remaining. Wachusett has 3 timeouts remaining with 1 minute and 19 seconds to go.
That could be a big situational plus for Wachusett calling time, especially after made baskets and setting defense or offense, one or the other.
Red Sox baseball back here on the K-Zone for its 53rd season. The K-Zone, a Red Sox radio partner for 53 seasons. You can tune into the next broadcast of spring training coming up this Friday, 1 o'clock for a pitch from Fort Myers as the Sox take on the Atlanta Braves here on AM 1280 and 105.3 FM for 53 seasons. Your home of Red Sox baseball, the K-Zone, WPKZ.
Once again, I think it's going to be absolutely imperative for Wachusett every single time they get in the offensive end to really bring that shot clock down as far as they can, because they're only getting one shot every single time they have an offensive possession because they're so outsized by the Red Hawks in the paint. They're going to have to really take care of the basketball.
Final minute and 10 seconds coming out of the Red Hawk timeout. Mountaineers with the basketball. Head into the corner for Davis. Half court right from the right corner. Lanford with the ball overhead. Under a minute to play now in regulation. Lanford, crossover, shot up from the right block, doesn't go. Long rebound, bounces out. Foul on the rebounding action with the loose ball. The foul gets called against King, and the ball will go to the Red Hawks. They get shots from the line.
That's going to be King's fourth. It's going to be team ninth for the Mountaineers. They are frustrated.
A 1-and-1 opportunity here for Ross. Oh, check that. They say the foul was committed against Jenna Foreman. So Foreman will go to the line shooting 1-and-1.
She's 4 of 5.
That one won't go. Tipped in the inside. Find McDonald. McDonald a putback and the foul.
Wow. Conversion off that missed free throw could turn into 3-point play.
51 and 7/10 seconds left in regulation. It's Wachusett 50, Natick 49, an and one opportunity coming up for Brenna McDonald. But first, a timeout taken by Wachusett and Coach Jim Oxford.
Now a 1-point game, and it puts yet another Mountaineer into foul trouble. It's team limit now for Wachusett, 10 fouls in this half. That puts Lamfer with 3 fouls, Pilata with 3, King now has 4, Head has 3, Petto has 2, and Allen has 1. This last 51 seconds is going to be tight.
Let's give Natick some credit. They've been on 6 for about the last 6 minutes of this fourth quarter. Done a good job avoiding a bonus situation for not letting Wachusett get to the line and pick up extra points based on a bonus situation. But just playing great overall defense without any fouls.
Playoff basketball on the K-Zone brought to you by Woodcomb Insurance. The right coverage at the right price with a local team always ready to help. Online at woodcomb.com. McDonald to the line, shooting an and-one opportunity to tie the game. Spiral, and down it goes. We're knotted at 50. 51 and a half seconds to the end of regulation. Can it be overtime again for these two teams?
I don't know that I could handle it.
It's Head, half court right. Puts it in the hand of Lamfer. Lamfer in the triple threat position. The screen, now the drive. For the right block, feeds Head, Head open, lays it in and good, and a timeout taken by Coach Jim Oxford. And a few extra seconds ran off the clock there. Coach Dan Heidenkamp was pointing at the clock, and the fact that it kept running after the whistle, and the fact that there was a timeout taken.
Nice give and go right there by the Wachusett Mountaineers. Bell knew right where to go. She drove, but she knew where to look. Great pass off of that drive.
The officials are going to report the timeout. They're now going to add time back on the board. Precision time, a system used in college basketball, not something that has trickled down to the high school level yet. You notice both in the NBA and also in college basketball, when a whistle goes off, the clock stops. Has to do with microphones and the pitch of the whistle at that level. That technology has not trickled down into high school basketball as of yet. The officials also can't use a monitor, so they had to meet, discuss, and they've put 3 full seconds back on the board.
That's a little generous.
That's generous.
31 and a half seconds left here in the fourth quarter now, and the Mountaineers with a 2-point lead.
Very generous on the officials' part.
Everybody shooting the rest of the way. Double bonus opportunity for every foul the Mountaineers commit, and therefore Natick would go to the line for mandatory 2.
Both
Mountaineers would get 1 and 1 if they get a foul.
1 timeout apiece left. I don't know if you mentioned that.
And have not as of yet. Possession arrow favors the Redhawks. Here they come up for about a 2.5 differential shot clock to game clock. 20 seconds left in regulation. It's Ciccarelli from McDonald, plays it in and good. 15 seconds to play in regulation. We're tied at 52.
Put it in the hands of Lamfer.
Lamfer's got the basketball, top of the key. Lamfer spins down the foul line. Header pocket pick. McDonald the ball. It was tipped. It was last touch, they say, by Davis. And the ball back to Franklin. And Coach Heidenkamp looks over to McDonald. McDonald asks for a timeout with 3.5 seconds to play in regulation. Tied at 52.
Wow. What a turnaround right there. Chance to win the ball game here with 3.5 seconds left. See what they can set up off this inbounds. Have inbounds from the baseline. Can advance.
They will inbound. They'll have the long floor in front of them. Will Natick. McDonald will be the person they'll be looking for.
Wachusett's got to be careful not to foul here. Had a lot of calls go against him. You can't try to jump into a lane here and get yourself caught on a block.
One of the things that I like is the 3 officials getting together. Not all of them usually from the same board, so I like them being proactive, discussing the amount of time left on the clock, discussing clearly the score, discussing how many timeouts are left. I like the communication out there by the Zebras as well.
And how much time did they put back on the clock? About
3
a minute ago.
About 3 seconds.
Yeah.
No, it was exactly 3
Yes.
seconds.
And 3.5 seconds left here in regulation.
How big is 3 seconds?
Boy, it looks awfully big right now. It's Natick basketball, and if you're the Mountaineers, you're hearkening back to how you got eliminated last year against Franklin on a last-second shot in the Division I Central Mass final game we had for you here on the K-Zone. It was a heartbreaker in the final seconds to end a perfect season for the Mountaineers to that juncture. Does their perfect season continue? We'll find out in 3.5 seconds.
No,
Another timeout has been spent. Coach Jim Oxford had one. So he decided to take one. Teams went out, set up a play, and before the ball was marked ready for play, Coach Oxford took the timeout. It is a full timeout. 3.5 seconds left here in the fourth quarter, and these teams knotted at 52. What a fantastic Division I Central Mass semifinal on the girls' side we have seen. Winner of this game, whoever it is, they get the winner of what's on deck. Holy Name in Franklin. Franklin, another team, 21-0 coming into their semifinal matchup. They were the top overall seed in Division I Central Mass.
And they have a beautiful view at the last 3.5 seconds of regulation in this tie ball game.
Both teams are out there. I can see Holy Name standing down courtside as well as both teams look on in astonishment over this one. Great crowd on hand once again here at Harrington Auditorium, this legendary facility in Central Mass basketball, both as the longtime home of WPI, but also as the longtime home of the Central Mass playoffs.
Big 3.5 seconds there. Wachusett cannot foul because they're in the double bonus, and with that one-on-one situation or double, a big difference pressure-wise. Cannot foul.
Tied at
Nobody
52.
No.
Long
Nobody
court
can
for
foul.
Natick. 3.5 seconds to set something up, or we play some more. Ball marked, ready for play. Ross will inbound. Find McDonald. McDonald back for Ross. She fires it up floor at the buzzer while running over Lamfer, and it's short of the mark.
Lamfer wanted a
She
foul
wanted it,
back.
yeah.
She wanted an offensive foul that she did not get, and that's the end of regulation. Teams tied at 52. How else would you want it? These two teams will play overtime again here in the first semifinal of Division I Central Mass.
Did you mention they played overtime last year?
They did, as a matter of
Did
fact.
they? Now, typically we play 4 minutes or 5 minutes?
4 minutes overtime, half a quarter.
Half a quarter.
Yep. And they will keep playing 4-minute overtime periods.
No shootout?
No shootouts.
No, not yet.
No knockout games. No half-court shot competition. They'll keep playing 4-minute segments until somebody has more points than somebody else at the end of that time period.
We might be here a while, but Kate, you made a great point.
Hey, thanks.
Every quarter, Natick found a way to chop the lead, 11 to
6
to
5 to none.
now to nothing.
Yep.
They kept chipping away, found a way to hang around. Wachusett just couldn't get that last big basket.
And you could feel it as the
Momentum.
game continued. You could feel them chipping away, and the lead was tenuous at best.
A well-rounded education is one that is not only academically oriented, but one that also includes physical, social, and emotional development. Interscholastic athletics provide the other half of education. The MIA encourages you to support your local high school athletic teams throughout the school year. This message from the MIAA, building the future through athletics. Teams back at midcourt for a jump ball, and there was a whistle. They're going to re-jump this one.
Okay.
Ball up this time, and the tip controlled, as the opening tip was, by Brenna McDonald.
Handedly.
Indeed.
Controlled. I think you're going to see some foul trouble be a problem.
Foreman pulls the shot down. Now looks inside. She hit the rim with a pass. Looking for McDonald. In transition. Down floor comes King. King hit the underside of the rim. Now Ross. Meanwhile, McDonald wide open. And she high steps it into the basket. Lays it in and good.
Basket hanging.
First lead for Natick since 2-0 in the first quarter.
Bingo.
54-52, 3:20 to play here in overtime.
And you could feel it the entire game. After that first quarter, you could just feel that lead slip. Wachusett's going to have an extra special effort here in overtime in order to overcome this.
The driving kick. King throws back across the grain, puts it in the hands of Petto. 4 seconds to shoot. Allen got the look at it. She missed the mark. Ball down in the hands of Ross on the rebound. Ross up floor for Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli throws on the brakes and will reset back top of the key. 2:50 to play here in the first overtime. A 2-point lead for Natick. Inside, turnaround shot, lead in and good for Foreman. And that lead has ballooned to 4. Lamfer spins through the lane, lay in and good, coast to coast. She had no thought of passing there. She cuts the lead to 2 with 2.5 to play here in the first overtime.
That's the way she should play the rest of the game. It's her game right now.
And her career, and that of another perfect season. Ciccarelli playing catch with Ross. Now Ciccarelli inside. Foreman Drop step, lay in, good. 4-point lead again for the Red Hawks.
Got to stop that entry pass. Got to find a way to front that player right there. Drop off the ball handler if you have to.
Halfway through the first overtime, 2 minutes left in overtime number 1.
As Wachusett guards getting very tentative about putting up shots along the perimeter.
Doing a lot of thinking here. A lot of young players out there. It's Allen. Allen off the dribble. Finds Petto. Jumper on the left wing. Can't get it to go. Davis converges on the rebound and achieves a tie-up with Foreman. And on the alternate possession, the Mountaineers keep the basketball. Coach Dan Heinekamp came unglued out of his coaching box.
Oh, boy.
Having a word with the official.
He wanted a foul for Davis coming over the back of the arm or over the top of the play. He didn't get it. Petto inbounds for Davis. Gets the immediate bounce pass. She steps inbounds.
Got to find Bell.
Now feeds King. King will take it herself. To the rim. Shot missed. Davis position for the rebound. She bounced it and she lost it out of bounds. And the ball will go back to the Red Hawks. 90 seconds left in overtime number 1. And Coach Jim Oxford. Timeout.
Time slipping away here on this undefeated season for the Mountaineers.
1:31 left in overtime number 1. Natick with what seems like a huge 58-54 lead.
Recall they had a 4-0 lead back in the first quarter, the first 2 minutes of the game, and they found a way to recreate that lead here with 91 seconds left.
Little backstory on Brenna McDonald, the senior. She's the senior captain, a 4-year starter for Natick. She's a 1,000-point scorer, the all-time leading scorer at Natick. She averages about 20 points and 15 boards per game. But here's the note. She'll be playing basketball next year in the Ivy League. She'll be playing for Yale in New Haven, Connecticut.
Nice.
Great future for her. That's what interscholastic athletics can do for you, and she certainly made great advantage of it as she has in the classroom. That's really the key point.
And that tells me not only is she a great athlete, but a great student, too.
Without a doubt. It's the first word in the phrase student athlete. Bill Thomas.
Yes.
And that is the ultimate in student athletes when you go down and play at one of those Ivy League universities. Natick basketball, 91 seconds left here in overtime.
Nice job in the inbounds.
Ciccarelli working on Allen. And now Lanford chases the basketball a little bit. She has to scramble back into the play. Ross now will settle things down. 1:15 to play here in overtime number 1. Lanford tipped it. She thought it was off of Ciccarelli. Official shakes his head no. Right in front of the Natick bench. The ball will stay with Natick.
Bell has a good sales pitch, though.
Yeah, She's
did. Emphatic about it.
She made him think about it. Ross working on Allen. Ball right back into play. 1:10 to play here in overtime 1.
Oh,
the bullet pass from Foreman to McDonald. Count the basket plus a foul.
Nice heads up right there under the basket. Lost a defender. A double-up defense is starting to hurt the Mountaineers now. They're not rotating.
Lanford picks up her 4th foul, unfortunately.
And McDonald tied this basketball game and ultimately forced overtime with that same kind of conversion. And she pads the lead with this one at the foul line. 61-54 Red Hawks, final minute of overtime number 1. Allen, the drive. Kick for Petto. Petto finds King. King head fake, drive the lane, inside for Petto, dribbles it back out. Mountaineers look very indecisive here. They will feed for Lanford. Lanford steps back top of the key, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lanford will take a shot, stepping through 2 defenders, misses it badly, inside the rebound it goes, and Natick will slow down the basketball.
Yep.
Remember, in women's basketball, you do not have to advance it. There's no 10 seconds in the backcourt that is counted off. Ross, and finally Coach Oxford screams to Allen, the freshman, you have to give the foul. He does with 29 and 8/10 seconds to play here in overtime number 1.
Allen picks up her 2nd, sending Ross to the line. Ross is 1 of 1.
61-54, and Ross at the line to expand the lead, and you can see the Mountaineers, hands on hips, looking frustrated on all ends of the floor right now as Ross hits the first of 2.
Just slipped away here in the last 2 to 3 minutes. What was the score at the end of regulation?
52 all.
52. Mountaineers got 2 in this 4 minutes.
And that one will miss, but the rebound down for Maddie Foreman. Foreman for McDonald. Shot clock is off. The Mountaineers have to give the foul. Kat Davis will give it.
Academic right now, kids.
Indeed.
No 8-point baskets.
24 and 3/10 seconds left here in overtime number 1. Donald steps to the line, ice in her veins, hits the first. That's how you put a game out of reach.
Feels like she's got 20 in the second half all by herself.
She looks over at Coach Dan Heidenkamp. Gets a play. The Mountaineers will give a curtain call. Coach Jim Oxford, a buzzer for their seniors. They get a thank you from their seniors chant as McDonald puts the dagger in at the foul line. Both Belle Lamfer and Kat Davis get their curtain call. They'll head to the bench. They're out of the basketball game. They'll have to watch the final 15 seconds of this perfect season come to an end in the semifinal. The ball tipped out of bounds will stay with the Mountaineers. 9.5 seconds left here in overtime. A 10-point Natick lead. They knotted things 52 at the end of regulation. And then they exploded for 10 in this overtime period. Mountaineers dribbling it out. They'll drop the ball off. Shot is no good. And that is the way this one will end. The Redhawks avenge an overtime playoff loss to the Mountaineers from just 1 year ago with a 64-54 win in overtime in Division I Central Mass quarterfinal here from Harrington Auditorium on the campus of WPI.
Yeah, you can't really say nothing else other than the Mountaineers got outplayed in the second half, and they had a great first quarter, but then Natick found a way, claw back. Kate made a great point, chopped that lead down a little bit. Before you know it, they tie the ball game up, go on to win overtime.
64-54, the win for Natick. And it feels so convincing and yet was so much in jeopardy all night long.
As far as the closeness of the game, it didn't feel like Natick was in control at any point beyond the first 2 minutes of the game till we got down to about the final 2 minutes. All of a sudden, and I think the foul situation played to Natick's advantage. Mountaineers got a little tenuous on defense, and I'd say the two big girls for Natick just took over.
Natick will advance with this win to the Central Mass Sectional Division I final. They will get the winner of Franklin and Holy Name at Worcester State at 8 p.m. on Friday night. For the Mountaineers, they will finish their season 21-1. And that one is this Division I Central Mass semifinal that they will lose in overtime tonight.
2 years in a row, they end up with one loss, nothing to show for it.
Belle Lamfer and Kat Davis will end great careers with an incredibly successful program and just one game shy of where they wanted to be. We have more coverage to come high above Harrington Auditorium. If the opportunity does fit, Coach Jim Oxford said he will stop up. If we can get him up here, we certainly will. In the meantime, post-game coverage coming up next. We'll have Kate's final stats, preview upcoming action, lots of exciting playoff action still to come here on the K-Zone this winter season. Stay with us, more to come. You're listening to Playoff Basketball here on the K-Zone. Playoff basketball continues here on the K-Zone and our partners at Rivalry Family Media as well. High above courtside as we begin our post-game coverage. Final score in the Division I Central Mass Sectional Semifinal. Wachusett drops a 10-point heartbreaker in overtime to Natick by a 64-54 mark. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas will be back with us in a matter of months. Kate Robbins with us as well as we continue rolling on playoff action here on the K-Zone, brought to you by Rhino Linings of Leominster. You can protect your new vehicles from the elements with Rhino Linings, the nation's #1 bedliner brand and New England undercoat. If you drive in New England, undercoat it at Rhino Linings, Mechanic Street in Leominster. A Rhino Linings and New England undercoat of Leominster post-game here from Harrington Auditorium on the campus of WPI. Again, Mountaineers end a perfect season tonight with a 64-54 overtime loss to Natick in the first of two Division I Central Mass sectional semifinals. Finished the year 21-1. Coming up tomorrow here on the K-Zone, it's Lunchbox midday. Howie is joined by guests from Clear Path for Veterans New England, a phenomenal organization out on Devons. Tune in at noon here on AM 1280, 105.3 FM to hear more about Clear Path for Veterans New England and their mission with Howie Kahn on the Midday Lunchbox. Time now for our post-game stats, and Kate, you've got a chance to take a look at breaking this one down numerically here, and the numbers, well, they bear it out. It was an evenly matched battle, although at times it didn't feel like Natick was a part of this one. They closed the gap in the fourth quarter, and you knew exactly where it was coming from. It was coming from Brenna McDonald. They gave her the opportunities. She took advantage of them.
I think you're also going to be surprised with some of the individual stats for Natick that she had quite a bit of more help than we thought, but because Foreman was in foul trouble so early on, she kind of faded into the background in the third, but then came firing back in the fourth. Let's first take a look at the Wachusett Mountaineers side of the ball. Team totals for 16 rebounds, 7 steals, 18 turnovers. They shot 15 of 20 from the line. That's 75%. And they end the night with a total of 54 points. Individual statistics for the Mountaineers. Allen ends her night with 9, Davis with 2, Bierfeld with 2. Lampher ends the night with a team-high 25 points. Pilata ends the night with 2 points. King with 9, and Head ends her night with 6 points. So noticeably there, Lampher for Wachusett, the only double-digit scorer, and does so in resounding fashion with 25 points. Now if we take a look at the Red Hawks side of the ball, team totals first, 34 rebounds, 1 steal, 20 turnovers. They shot 12 of 15 from the line, so that's 80% from the free throw line. If we take a look at individual statistics for the Red Hawks, Ross ends her night with 8 points. Sarah Kelly with 2 points. Burke with 2 points. No surprise here, McDonald ends her night 6 of 6 from the line with 32 total points. But the interesting one, Foreman comes up with 19 points for the Red Hawks. She's 4 of 6 from the line. So between McDonald's 32 and Foreman's 19 points, that's the vast majority of the points. They only had 12 other points put on the scoreboard by anybody else other than those two. They carried the entire team, and Foreman was held to no points in the third quarter. So a very quiet 19, but crucial 19 for Foreman in this one.
Certainly without question. Kate's Post Game Stats here on the K-Zone, brought to you by Secure Energy. Secure Energy, specialists in procurement strategies for commercial and industrial energy users, asks, what's your strategy? Find your Secure Energy specialist at sesenergy.org. In Central Mass, your specialist is Patrick Karn. And Bill Thomas, what we can say about SES Energy Solutions and what's your strategy? We said it moments ago. It was, what did we say the other night? FTV, Feed the Beast. Brenna McDonald was the beast. Future Division I athlete, future Ivy League athlete. She was the player to be reckoned with. The Mountaineers knew it was coming, and they couldn't stop it.
Well, if you don't have an answer for the bigs, it makes for a long night. We saw what happened in Leominster tonight. The 2 bigs against them scored close to 70 of the 82 points the opponent scored, and the 2 bigs tonight took over. One got in foul trouble, the other one stepped up and when you have a tandem like that, not just relying on one, like Wachusett has done most of the season. And Kate, you made a great point. No double-digit scores tonight besides Bell, and I made a point pregame. The next highest average scorer was 7.0, and that was Charlotte Head during the season. So you really don't expect anybody else to get double digits, and if somebody does, that's really where it could be the difference maker. Nobody was able to step up and help Bell Lamphor out tonight, and that's where the Mountaineers came up those 10 points short. She can't score 25 and 30 all by herself. Yeah. We saw the West kid for Shrewsbury dominate Leominster, beat them. You can't beat them with one
team
big.
Basketball.
Yeah, you need team basketball, and at least two make a team in basketball.
The interesting thing with Wachusett, though, you could see some of their youth out there being incredibly tentative from the perimeter. Nobody else was getting hot. And even for Bell, Bell wasn't that hot. There was a lot of looking for the pass. And the interesting thing is Wachusett is likely used to, because they're such sharpshooters, number one, hitting from three-point range almost at will. But secondarily, they're likely not used to going up against a team that they simply cannot rebound with. They could not touch the rebounding action of the Red Hawks between Foreman and McDonald. So every single time they were on the offensive end of the court, they had one attempt. It was basically a one-shot possession every single time. No one was able to get hot, not really even Bell, even though she had 25 points.
You talk about the reluctance of the other outside shooters for the Mountaineers. I think they were looking for Bell, and I think that Bell knew that.
Yeah.
And I think that put additional pressure on her because they were looking to pass first. Now, they weren't looking to score, and when they did, they were off the mark, which I think lowered the confidence level, make you want to pass more, become reluctant to shoot. And like you said, every rebound was going to, one of the Natick players, either two bigs or bouncing out to, somebody guiding out in the perimeter. It seemed like every bounce went Natick's way.
And that places even more pressure, especially if you're a perimeter shooting team, because you got to be able to put it up there at will and without reluctance. And those were the two things. They couldn't put it up at will, and so they became increasingly reluctant. And every single shot as you got into the third and the fourth became that much more important. And it was essentially like a pressure can, and you could just see that basket get smaller and smaller because there was zero room for error with offensive boards.
Did you say no offensive rebound, I think, for the Mountaineers? Two. And defensively, I think that they had to have been defensively out-rebounded. It feels like
3
at
to
least
1.
a 2-1. 3 to 1. I wouldn't be at all surprised.
And certainly that bared out in overtime. What you guys were talking about is in overtime, it seemed like, I don't know that the Mountaineers took 5 shots in the overtime 4-minute period.
No.
I truly don't. And that tentativeness, that reluctance certainly seemed to come to a head.
But the positive to bring out of this for Coach Jim Oxford, other than to get some size, hopefully there's some size coming up in the middle school ranks in the Wachusett school system. I can tell you their softball program has had no shortage of height. So it's there somewhere. They just got to get them to play basketball. But for Coach Jim Oxford, just having the quality minutes for these underclassmen, these freshmen, these sophomores that he has had to call on and rely upon all season long to come in and fill really not just quality minutes. They're starters all season long. That's when you talk about he wasn't necessarily sure that 21-0 record was feasible this year in the regular season. And so it becomes this point. This now becomes the jumping off point for next year, not the rebuilding point.
And only 2 players are jumping off, but I'm looking at only one junior.
Yep.
And everybody else on the team, top to bottom, the freshman guys are all freshmen, sophomores. Avery Bierfeld's probably going to be the leader of the team next year as the only senior. At this point, somebody could come into the school, but, I could see where the coach said, well, the team, the season felt fragile because he didn't have the experience.
Correct.
And didn't know how they were going to come together. I mean, next year is going to be even more of a question mark, but he does have that young experience to build off of.
Yep. And for Coach Jim Oxford, I have to assume that if you were to really ask him, as we kind of did before the game, when he talked about that fragile season, he might say 21-0 this year, 21-1 might have been an overachievement, but an overachievement that at the end of the day, they are incredibly proud of.
Certainly.
2 straight perfect regular seasons,
Nothing
playing the best of best. They do not shy away. When you look at the teams
and we talked about that with him too.
Indeed, the type schedule they play in regulation. Without question, I want to kind of call out some of the schools that they play. Here we go. There we go, Bill Thomas.
Do you have more paper?
I do. I know. Can I have a few more?
Word.
West Springfield. Holy Name twice a year. Always a perennial power in Southern Worcester
They're
County.
up there right now.
Acton, Boxborough.
That's a big.
Westford, okay? Brookline, Taconic from Western Massachusetts. Westford twice a year as well. I mean, these are the best teams, as Coach Jim Oxford said to us before the game. Wachusett wants to be somewhere in the top 10 teams in Massachusetts in girls basketball. At any given time. And they want to play a top 10 schedule. Credit to them. And they obviously making their way through a regular season again at 21-0. Speaks to being battle-tested.
And they're not satisfied just going 500 every year, that's for sure. And we know that's what coaches play for, but, you know, he even said he was hoping 15-5. He would have been happy to start the season. To get what he did, he has to be very pleased. Obviously, the disappointment, every team except one ends the season on a loss. There's never such thing as a good loss, but they did have a great season.
And, I mean, we'll have to point it out just because, of course, it is in the news in MIAA athletics here at this point in time. You know, it is the hot, salient topic. This type of situation speaks to why this redistricted format is incredibly difficult for Central and Western Mass teams. 2 of the 4 remaining teams in Division I Central Mass girls basketball are from the 495 corridor or farther east. Mm-hmm. That would have only been exacerbated had they restacked this playoff format, had the state voted down a statewide tournament perspective. At least with a statewide tournament perspective, what you can say is these 4 teams may be the 4 best teams in statewide girls basketball next year, but at least everyone will have had to have battled, or in the next 2 years, I should say, will have had to have battled the top 32 teams across the state matched up against each other, instead of more teams coming from the east to central, and central teams getting bounced out west, and I don't know, western teams getting bounced to eastern New York. I mean, that was really where we were looking with this redistricting process.
And being in Central Mass, this has been a situation. I know that, you know, small schools, Vogue schools, everybody has a different reason why they are in favor or if they are against it, but you know, at the end of the day, statewide means statewide. We're going to have another anthem, so
I was going to say, I think it's our time to wrap things up here on the K-Zone. We want to thank Tony Chavez for his great work pushing the buttons and making the magic happen. Howie Kahn and John Morrison, our leadership group as well. We thank you all so much for your great support. More playoff action to come tomorrow here on the K-Zone. It's playoff hockey doubleheader, 5:30. Lunenburg and Hopedale, they match up in the 3A Central Final, followed by Neshoba and Wachusett in the Division III Central Final. Both games to be played at the Wallace Civic Center in Fitchburg. Dan and Dan on the broadcast, Dan Bolak, Dan McAuliffe, right here on AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com. You want to relive all of this one? You can relive it all live to tape coming up tomorrow, 8 p.m. with our partners on Rivalry Family Media, Facebook.com/Media Rivalry for that one, or search Rivalry Family Media on YouTube. We thank all of you so very much for being with us and for being a part of our family. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins. Once again, final score here in this one. Natick a winner in overtime, 64-54. The 3 seed over the 2 seed. Natick advances to the Central Mass Division I Girls Final. For all of us here at the K-Zone, until next time, I am Todd Robbins, saying so long, everybody.